I apologize, family. It just jumped right off. I don't know what happened. So continuing on to the bottom video, we'll just start right here. So I had a talk with, with the people in charge, obviously. And so they decided to put her on a puree diet. Oh my gosh, you guys. So on the 4th of July, I'm up there and I'm like, what? And so they brought her food in. It was late. It was like 20 to 8 or 20 to 7 something. Well, late for her. She used to eat at 5 o'clock every single day. So anyway, so they come in with her tray. They set it down and I go to feed her and I'm like, oh my God, this food is like ice cold. Like, what the heck? Like, it's disgusting. And I look at her food thing, and because it's pureed, so let me just tell you that one of the pureed food was a white turkey on white bread. I am not exaggerating. And it was pureed and it was gross. So can you imagine, like, this cold sandwich was pureed into something that she had to give? So I'm talking to her, to one of the doctors on Monday. And I'm like, no. I said, if she's got to eat pureed food, I said, isn't it possible that we could just give her, like, can't you just give her then like a meal replacement shake so then she can at least have something of nutritional value? Like, what kind of nutritional value is in a white turkey, white bread pureed food anyways? Like babies don't even eat stuff like that. So I was like, oh. So anyway, we are going to talk to the nutritionist about this because it's, I don't know. I think it's just pretty gross. So anyway, so that happened. So there's kept this, hey Connie, nice to see you. So there's this thing we vent. So again, so there's like this big cut, on my mom's arm, and then there's the food, and then there's my mom's blanket. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have this thing about my mom's blanket. And the reason I have this thing about my mom's blanket is this blanket my brother Tim and his girlfriend had made for her. And it has their pictures on it. It has a picture of, so my brother, his son, his girlfriend, their dog, and and it was it is a beautiful blanket. And on the back of it is like this, like I want to say kind of like a lamb skin type backing or whatever. Anyway, it's beautiful, and they obviously made it for her for a reason, so that she could feel like she's, being with her family. And this blanket disappears all the time, and I don't understand it. So I'm thinking, so Saturday I go up, I ask, where's the blanket? No, I get that was probably down in the, the laundry room getting washed, because she probably could have maybe had an accident, which totally makes sense. I'm okay. Well, I come back on Tuesday and still no blanket. And I'm thinking, what is going on? As I go down to the laundry room, this isn't the first time I've been down there. They're continually losing her clothes, or they'll bring up clothes and with her name in it, but they're not her clothes. And so I found out that as time goes on and people leave or things get lost, then they'll just start, handing out clothes to random people in the center. And I'm like, yeah, well, whenever I see something that's not hers, I'm like, she would never wear this. She's not wearing this. And I'll just take it and I'll just throw it. Like, we're not going there anymore. I just decided it wasn't worth my time or wasting, my thoughts about it. Whatever the case may be. Well, this blanket really made me mad. I didn't even. So here's what happened. So I walk in the laundry room and I immediately find it. It's on a shelf that's off against the wall, and I know the shelf though is for things that cannot be. It's like in a lost and found type area. And so I grab the blanket, and there's nobody in the room at the moment. So I find a pair of her pants too that I don't know how they ended up on the lost and found rack either. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So the lady in charge now walks in as I'm beginning to walk out the door, because now I've had time actually even to look through, some of these things to try to find some of her other clothes. And I just found the pair of pants and her blanket. The blanket was the biggest thing. So I definitely had a Karen moment, and I didn't even, I reacted so fast. Like, I didn't even have time to think about it. And I looked at I said to the lady, I said, why is this blanket over in the lost and found area? And she didn't even think about what she said either, which both of us just instantly reacted. And she said, well, my staff didn't know where it went. And I said, really? I said, wow, that's really interesting. Do they not know how to read? And she just kind of looked at me, and I pulled up the blanket, because in this blanket especially, very specifically, got 4 labels put on it, 1 in each corner. Clearly has my mom's name on it, clearly has a room number on it, but not one staff person was able to find her room. I said, are you kidding me? Like, how can you not find her room or the name? I go, you guys put the labels in it. You put it in each one of the corners, but nobody bothered to look on the back of her blanket to figure out where it went. So you didn't know where it went. Oh yeah, I flipped out. I was a Karen. And if it was on video, it's on video. Because I seriously, at that moment, I told her I was so ticked off. I said, I'm so sick and tired of you guys losing her clothes wherever they end up at. I said she had a very special blanket that my niece had made for her. That got lost a long time ago, never to be found again. I said, I've got stuff from Christmas. Because of COVID, things got moved around a lot, and I understand that part of it. You know, things can get lost and moved. Things were in storage that got moved, and like there, you know, and there's the staff was like super short at that time. Like, I get all that, but come on. Like, you know what? My mom's in a little dinky room with another girl. She's got a space of like about like a 6 by 10 foot. It feels like. Sometimes I feel like I'm not even gonna go there. But anyway, so I had a moment, and I was not happy about it. And I went upstairs, and I told a nurse, and I told, you know, an activities director. Like, it just kept going on and on and on, you know. And I said, this blanket, unless it gets pooped on or peed on, obviously, or puked on, it gets clean and it gets back up here. You know, and who's ever in charge, they all know it's my mom's blanket, so let's make sure my mom gets her blanket back. And I was like, why am I so upset about this? And it's because things do keep getting lost. They keep getting like stolen or whatever the case. My mom can't do anything about it. My mom can't talk. My mom can't like push the little red button for the nurse. And so somebody has to be her eyes and her ears. And if it's not the nurses, then it's got to be me, right? So I went in the day before yesterday, because there was also during this time my mom was really, really sick. And this is so crazy, you guys. So she's really, really sick, and they're not sure. You know, I'm talking to the doctor, and I mean, we're very seriously contemplating and thinking about putting her back on hospice. But we're waiting to see if the fluids that he gave her worked, and if the antibiotics worked. And I said, you know, I'm going to put out a prayer request, and the prayer request worked. And I swear to God, every time, and I swear to God, like meaning literally, like figuratively, that every time I put out a prayer request, my mom gets well every single time. And so to me, it's just absolute miracles that keep happening. And I am so grateful and so blessed. And so I'm gratefully receiving all this greatness. So having these Karen moments, really not acceptable. Because I definitely have a lot to be grateful for. And I do feel really blessed. And the bigger thing, and the grander lighted things, do the things really matter? No, they don't. But the but is in this, though, this blanket. It's just something that was sentimental. It's been made by my brother, and I just want my mom to have it. And I just want people to respect it. And I know that you're busy, and I know that there's tons going on. I know that they can be super, super, you know, light staffed due to, you know, their restrictions at there too. And there's people on, you know, still, you know, on their thing too. Like, I understand all that. But I still feel that you have, you know, my mom, or, you know, my mom's roommate, and, you know, all these people in your hands. Just take that extra step, just to be the extra, you know, take the extra time to know who's. So that reminds me. So there was a nurse that came in who's not a regular nurse there, and this is what set it off. I had forgot about this, because I'm like, I mean, like, all these little things just kept adding up, and finally it was just like, and I am really working on being patient, and I'm really working on just, you know, listening, and, you know, trying to figure out a solution or whatever. But this set me off. So this nurse comes in, and she takes my mom's temperature with a thermometer, and sticks it in my mom's mouth, and tells my mom to hold her tongue down while she's taking her temperature. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? And so my mom's sitting there. She's like, she doesn't even know what's going in her mouth. And it's really, you can tell she's like, what? And the nurse is like, you got to hold it under your tongue. And I looked at the nurse and I said, take it out of her mouth right now. And she looked at me and I said, do you not read her chart? I said, can you take like 1 second and read her chart? I go, she has dementia. She doesn't even understand what you're saying to her. I was livid. Like, oh my gosh. And it was like a flashback to when my son was alive, and we used to spend so much time at the hospitals, and there'd be nurses and doctors come in too, and they hadn't read their chart. And I understand they got to ask you questions, right? Like, I get all that, but stop it. Just read their dang chart. It takes you 2 minutes. Like, clearly, right in the beginning is dementia, like there's already should be, processing in your brain before you even come and do anything with her, that there's stuff going on that you should know before you even come into the room. Like, just take a minute. That's what I'm saying. Just take that extra step. So so it set me off, and it gave me a Karen moment. Like, I had so many of those up there this week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate being like this. Like, I don't like it when I'm like this. I don't like feeling like this. I don't like being like this. And there was a time in my life that I used to be that way. Like, I used to react to everything, like, constantly. I would say things I didn't care if you liked it or not. Like, it would just come out of my mouth because I was like, you know what? I don't give a crap what you think or what you say. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Thank you. But I still don't like treating people like that anymore, because I don't like to be treated like that. But I'm mama bear, man, when it comes to my mom. And me and my mom have had moments too. We have like a really love-hate relationship at the same time. But right now, she can't speak for herself. And I speak for her, and I'm going to look out for her. I'm going to make sure she's being taken care of. So how dare you not pay attention to what's going on with her? Not just her, but all the other ladies and men that are up on that floor, right? So just take a moment. So I apologize for being a Karen moment. I really do. It's just really working on, oh, thank you, Rena. So it's really just taking, the time just to, choose my words more careful, though. Like, that would be part of it. So, I just always love your support, Rena. And this girl right here, she's a mama. She's going to be a brand new mama to little Scarlett. And I am so happy for her and her family. And I just wanted to make a big apology to you too, Rena, for not being able to come and be with you. I wanted to so badly. With everything that's going on right now with my mom and this new job, it's just not going to work out. But I just want you to know that I love you, and I'm here for you, and I definitely will be able to, maybe there'll be a time soon where I can actually just come and see you and the baby. That would be really cool too. So I'm going to hold on to that thought, okay? I love, love, love you. So another Karen moment. Well, not really a Karen moment. So, oh, honey, thank you. I love you. Thank you, babe. I just felt I needed to apologize. I felt so bad. Oh, Donna, I love you. Connie, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, yes, I will. I absolutely will come later, Rena. That's for sure. So another moment I had, so we'll get off my thing with my mom. Oh, my gosh. So another thing that happened was, you guys, this is terrible, though. This is, like, terrible. So my ex-husband, my kids' dad died in 2015. And we've never put the end date on the headstone. And he's on the headstone with my son. And I didn't realize it was that long. Well, Jesse made me promise that I would take care of his dad. Like, write the memorial, all these things. And so I had the end date papers up. I have this letterbox in my kitchen. Well, somehow it disappeared. And on there was only like $150, right, to take care of it. But I was like, it just didn't happen. I don't know what happened. It just didn't happen. Anyway, so I called a place a month ago, and I had asked the guy, I said, I have a paper. I just can't find it. Told him, it was $150. He's like, no, it isn't. I mean, he was like kind of a jerk. And I'm like, really? And I actually was offended because I'm like, my sons, their headstone was thousands of dollars. And I'm like, and so you're gonna do what? So anyway, long story short, he was actually really rude about it. And so he had sent me an email and I had to like sign the papers and stuff. And I had, sent it off, sent the check. And I saw that the check had been cashed. And 2 weeks later, I still don't know anything. So I call, and then a brand new girl answers, and I said, do you have any idea, like when the end date's going to be written on the headstone? And she's like, I'll get back to you. I waited 4 days, and I heard nothing back. And I'm like, what is going on? So I emailed this guy, and I said, okay, when is the, when do I like, yeah, cash my check. And so here was a moment too when it was a flip for me too, because I've had this happen so many times before. So I stopped paying people until the job was finished, because I have paid people with the promise and the trust that things would get done, and then it never happens. It has never happened. And then I end up having to repay somebody else or redoing it myself or whatever the case may be. And so I'm thinking that this is the same thing that's happening with this. So I'm like, can I just get an answer on like what is going on? You guys, I got the most beautiful email back from him, and I put it in. If you look in down below, I actually posted a little earlier, and it gives a link to the Family Memorials by Gibson in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And he sent a beautiful, beautiful email explaining how long it would take, what the reasonings were for. And you guys, my heart just hurt. I could not believe the people that have passed away in Sioux Falls, where my original hometown's from, and why it's taken them so long to get to it. And then there's a link to that actually shows the process of what they have to do and the type of equipment that the guys have to wear. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to post it. It's really beautiful, and I was so grateful. And I told him, I said, thank you so much, so much. I appreciate you for sharing such an eloquently written email to me and sharing and allowing me to know what's going on. So, when the timing is right, you put the end date, go for it, because, we've only been waiting since 2015 anyway, right? So it's like, my bad. So, but for a moment I was like, you're not going to be rude about it. I was just asking you a question when I asked him about the price and stuff and when it could happen. Like, he was just rude. So he totally made up for it. So I was really happy about that. And then it gave me that that reflection of, again, where is this coming from? Again, like I said, that for me, it was because it's just happened so many times before where I pay for something and then, nothing happens. So I was like, okay, is this one of those moments? But that's not the case. There's just a lot of other people that really need have this done too. And I'm okay with that. Like, I've already waited this long. So it's all good. So how do we not be a Karen? So that's the question, right? So first of all, you just got to take a deep breath, think about something before you start speaking, and you just got to ask yourself where it's really coming from. So is it coming from a sense of entitlement? Are you like addicted to the trauma? So you just have a sense of reaction. Like I said, I have been a reactor to a lot of things, going through a lot of self-development, especially the last 10 years, when life happened. It's like, yep, obviously I still have those moments, but for the most part, I don't have those moments anymore. And I do empathize. I do sympathize with others. And I really take the time to really want to know what's going on first. And I'm fiercely fierce. So when it comes to my family, and so I do have a challenging time thinking first before I do something, because I just want to make sure, like, I seriously was like, oh, I want to, and my friends, my very close friends too. I do the same for you guys. And so it does happen. And I just pray to God that I don't ever like go off the rails and like it be filmed, because you never know where you're being taped at. And I definitely don't want to be on one of Jesse, my little grandson, loves watching Sniper Wolf. You guys, seriously, this YouTube channel is amazing. She's amazing. I love her. And all she does is watch like TikToks and all these different things and Instagrams, all these, and she posts everything on YouTube. Yeah, they're great. And shows like 14, like anywhere from 9 to 14, 15 minutes of things, and gives a lot of really great tips and values, and shows people who you don't want to be like. Yeah, I don't want to be a Karen. All right. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I just wanted to share all those things with you today and just make this my formal amending video of today. And that if you find yourself in a situation like that, just again, really think before you speak if you can. If not, you know, if afterwards you're having a moment, you can definitely, 1, forgive yourself. 2, definitely you can go back and make amends to the person that you had, you know, said the things to. And 3, the biggest lesson I got out of this whole week is that, you know what, these nurses and staff have been working with my mom for over a year more. They know more about what's going on with her than I do, because I've not been able to be up there. There is like obviously a whole back thing to everything that happens up there, and I so appreciate them, and I am very grateful for them to be able to look out for her, because for the 98% of it, like I totally know for sure she's been very, very well taken care of. It's just my own 2% fear and, you know, guilt for not being able to be up there that has, you know, got me in that place of a care and attitude for a moment. And I can promise you and promise myself moving forward, though, that I will definitely ask really great questions before I jump off the deep end. And these people don't deserve to have my attitude. They work very, very hard up there. They have a lot of people that they have to take care of, my mom included, and they don't deserve to have somebody come up there just to be a jerk, regardless of how I feel, right? They got enough going on, but they are taking great care of her. So I want to thank you all so much for being here this morning and listening, hanging out with me. It's been wonderful. I want to thank you. I love, love, love you so much. And I appreciate you so very much. And I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday morning, 9 a.m. at It's Shelly Jean for another hot topic. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a fantastic week. And I look forward to next week. Bye.